head over to Qnotables.com. It's a centralized index of notable clips, headlines, and references being shared across the community, organized for quick browsing. Use it to spot patterns, pull links, and build your own research list. Qnotables.com. Browse the notables, verify the facts, stay informed. All reports can be found on Q Research or Qnotables.com. Notables do not equal endorsements. We are researchers who deal in open source information, reasoned argument, and dank memes. We do battle in the sphere of ideas and ideas only. We neither need nor condone the use of force in our work here.
From the Q Research Board's March 26, 2026, Senate Republicans are escalating pressure on the Food and Drug Administration with a new probe into the makers of the abortion pill mifepristone. The investigation is being led by Senator Bill Cassidy through the Senate Help Committee and focuses on whether federal regulators properly monitored the drug's safety and distribution rules. The move signals a broader push by Republicans to force new scrutiny of medication abortion policy and FDA oversight. A high school student from Virginia is drawing national attention after developing a low-cost water filter that reportedly removes up to 96% of microplastics from drinking water. The prototype uses a magnetic liquid known as ferrofluid to pull microplastic particles out of flowing water. The invention is now being highlighted as a promising example of student-led innovation aimed at addressing one of the growing environmental concerns tied to drinking water safety. New York Attorney General Letitia James has been referred again for possible criminal prosecution over allegations tied to homeowner insurance and mortgage-related filings. Federal Housing Director Bill Polt sent new referrals to prosecutors in Florida and Illinois after an earlier Virginia-related case was dismissed on procedural grounds. The renewed action opens another legal front in the ongoing political and legal conflict between James and the Trump administration. First Lady Melania Trump appeared at a White House event alongside an American-made humanoid robot as part of a summit focused on education and artificial intelligence. The robot, identified as Figure 03, addressed guests in multiple languages and was presented as part of a broader discussion about how AI could be used in personalized learning. The appearance marked the first time a humanoid robot was featured as a guest at the White House. A landmark jury verdict in Los Angeles has found Meta and Google's YouTube liable in a major youth social media harm case. Jurors concluded that the companies were negligent in the design and operation of their platforms and awarded a total of $6 million in damages to the plaintiff. The ruling is being treated as a major test case that could influence thousands of similar lawsuits now moving through the courts. U.S. Central Command has continued issuing battlefield updates on Operation Epic Fury, with Admiral Brad Cooper providing another public commander's briefing on March 25th. CENTCOM's official materials describe the operation as a sustained U.S. military campaign targeting the Iranian regime's security apparatus and locations assessed as threats. The continued public updates signal that the operation remains active and closely watched across the region.
At shop.isitwaya.com, everything you buy supports Qn.top, the place where people talk freely no matter what. Check out our Qn Honey Pot, a jar of yummy honey that's as strong as your voice. Put it on toaster and tea. It's not just honey, it's freedom in every bite. Then there's Qn Butter, a smooth handmade skin cream that makes you feel good while you fight for what's right. Awesome wood and pieces for display only. Hang them up or set them out. They're for showing off Qn's tough spirit. Want to help even more? Get a proto membership. So go to shop.isitwaya.com now and grab some goodies. Help Qn.top keep free speech alive, and let's keep the ideas flowing loud and free.
All reports can be found on Q Research or Qnotables.com. Notables do not equal endorsements. We are researchers who deal in open source information, reasoned argument, and dank memes. We do battle in the sphere of ideas and ideas only. We neither need nor condone the use of force in our work here.
From the Q Research Board's March 26, 2026, a new report and released records are fueling fresh controversy over how federal officials handled stroke risk messaging connected to COVID-19 vaccination surveillance. Documents cited in current coverage indicate internal wording was changed after officials identified a higher-than-expected ischemic stroke signal in older populations. The issue is now being used by critics to argue that public health messaging was softened at a key moment when officials were still encouraging booster uptake. The Department of Homeland Security funding standoff remains unresolved after Senate Democrats rejected a Republican-backed reopening plan. The failed effort kept the partial shutdown in place and extended pressure on TSA staffing and airport operations. Republicans accused Democrats of moving the goalposts, while Democrats continue demanding immigration enforcement guardrails as the price for restoring full DHS funding. ICE activity is again in the spotlight after the Department of Homeland Security announced arrests involving child predators, rapists, domestic abusers, and other offenders. The statement said the arrests were part of recent enforcement operations and framed them as a public safety action tied to ongoing immigration enforcement efforts. The announcement is being used by the administration to highlight the criminal cases it says are being targeted in current ICE operations. President Trump spoke at the National Republican Congressional Committee's annual fundraising dinner as party leaders look to build momentum heading into the midterm cycle. Coverage of the event showed Trump projecting confidence about Republican gains while addressing issues including Iran, the economy, immigration, and party strategy. The dinner served both as a fundraising event and as a high-visibility political message aimed at unifying the GOP around the administration's agenda. March 25th also brought renewed public attention to Medal of Honor recognition, with the White House highlighting the decoration as the nation's highest tribute to valor. The language circulated in official White House social posts emphasized the honor given to the strongest, bravest, and finest among America's service members. The message fit into broader administration efforts to spotlight military service, sacrifice, and national identity. Claims circulating online allege that former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton exercised significant influence over the distribution of billions in Haiti relief funds following the 2010 earthquake. The claims state that contractors seeking access to portions of the estimated $14 billion in aid were required to go through networks connected to the Clinton Foundation and affiliated organizations. The allegations continue to draw attention as questions remain about how funds were allocated and managed during the international relief effort. Declassified material attributed to the Central Intelligence Agency from the 1950s is being cited in ongoing discussions about early research into antiparasitic compounds and their potential impact on cancer growth. The documents reference exploratory studies into how certain compounds may affect abnormal cell behavior. The renewed focus on these materials is driving interest in historical government research programs and their possible relevance to modern medical treatment approaches.
Every voice matters. The power of free speech is more important than ever. Imagine a place where you can share your thoughts freely, explore new ideas, and engage in meaningful conversations anonymously. With online anonymity, you can express yourself without fear of judgment. It's about freedom, creativity, and connection. Join the conversation that matters. Embrace your voice. Celebrate your freedom. Visit 8kun.top today. That's 8kun.top.
All reports can be found on Q Research or Qnotables.com. Notables do not equal endorsements. We are researchers who deal in open source information, reasoned argument, and dank memes. We do battle in the sphere of ideas and ideas only. We neither need nor condone the use of force in our work here. From the Q Research Boards, March 26, 2026. Attention is building around claims tied to a Senate investigation involving federal health officials and COVID-19 vaccine monitoring data. The discussion centers on agencies including the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Food and Drug Administration, with allegations that stroke risk signals identified during surveillance were not fully emphasized in public communication. The issue focuses on how internal safety data was interpreted and presented during the nationwide vaccination rollout and booster campaign. A bill passed by Canada's House of Commons is generating strong reaction, with critics arguing it could impact religious expression. The legislation, associated with Canadian federal lawmakers under Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, is described as expanding restrictions related to harmful speech. Opponents state the language could extend to religious contexts, including quoting scripture, while supporters frame it as part of broader protections against harm. The bill has become a focal point in debates over speech and religious freedom in Canada. Fuel supply disruptions are being reported across parts of Australia, with attention focused on the country's largest states, including New South Wales and Victoria. Reports describe hundreds of gas stations experiencing shortages as distribution systems face strain. The situation highlights logistical vulnerabilities in fuel transport and storage infrastructure, particularly during periods of increased demand or supply chain pressure, raising concerns about regional energy stability. Statements attributed to Russian official Kirill Dmitriev are circulating in connection with potential negotiations involving the United States and Ukraine. The remarks indicate that the United States may have offered security guarantees as part of a broader peace framework. The development points to ongoing diplomatic activity surrounding the Ukraine conflict, with multiple parties engaged in discussions over long-term security arrangements and regional stability. Online communities are focusing on references to Freedom Day, linking the term to prior messaging patterns and timing discussions. The concept is being analyzed in relation to posts attributed to the anonymous figure known as Q, with users examining dates and symbolic connections. The discussion reflects continued engagement within digital communities that track messaging patterns and interpret potential meaning tied to specific terminology and timing references. A document titled The Structural Revolution is circulating widely across online forums, where users are reviewing its content and discussing its implications. The material is being analyzed for themes related to institutional change, governance structures, and long-term strategic shifts. Interest in the document has grown as users attempt to connect its contents to broader discussions about political and structural transformation. Jim Watkins has announced plans to transition to a new network, with the move scheduled for March 27, 2026. Watkins, known for his role in online platform operations, indicated the transition would involve changes to infrastructure and content distribution. The announcement signals a shift that could impact users and communities associated with his current network presence. Language from the United States Declaration of Independence is being widely shared across social platforms, with particular focus on the closing line authored by Thomas Jefferson, referencing a pledge of lives, fortunes, and sacred honor. The quote is being used in modern political messaging and public discourse, reinforcing themes tied to national identity, unity, and foundational American principles. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Don'tDeleteMeBro.com. 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 Share the site with others. Don'tDeleteMeBro.com. 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 Share the site with others. Don'tDeleteMeBro.com.
That's all for now. Stay alert, stay informed, and never hand your thinking over to anyone on a screen, including me. God bless you, God bless our troops, and God bless the United States of America. See you soon.
Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself. The establishment has trillions of dollars at stake in this election. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interest, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. Our campaign represents a true existential threat like they haven't seen before. This is not simply another four-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. The political establishment that is trying to stop us is the same group responsible for our disastrous trade deals, massive illegal immigration, and economic and foreign policies that have bled our country dry. The political establishment has brought about the destruction of our factories and our jobs as they flee to Mexico, China, and other countries all around the world. It's a global power structure that is responsible for the economic decisions that have robbed our working class, stripped our country of its wealth, and put that money into the pockets of a handful of large corporations and political entities. This is a struggle for the survival of our nation, and this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, but are in fact controlled by a small handful of global special interests rigging the system, and our system is rigged. This is reality. You know it, they know it, I know it, and pretty much the whole world knows it. The Clinton machine is at the center of this power structure. We've seen this firsthand in the WikiLeaks documents, in which Hillary Clinton meets in secret with international banks to plot the destruction of U.S. sovereignty in order to enrich these global financial powers, her special interest friends, and her donors. Honestly, she should be locked up. The most powerful weapon deployed by the Clintons is the corporate media, the press. Let's be clear on one thing. The corporate media in our country is no longer involved in journalism. They're a political special interest, no different than any lobbyist or other financial entity with a total political agenda, and the agenda is not for you, it's for themselves. Anyone who challenges their control is deemed a sexist, a racist, a xenophobe. They will lie, and then again, they will do worse than that. They will do whatever is necessary. The Clintons are criminals, remember that. This is well documented, and the establishment that protects them has engaged in a massive cover-up of widespread criminal activity at the State Department and the Clinton Foundation in order to keep the Clintons in power. They knew they would throw every lie they could at me and my family and my loved ones. They knew they would stop at nothing to try to stop me. Nevertheless, I take all of these slings and arrows gladly for you. I take them for our movement so that we can have our country back. I knew this day would arrive. It's only a question of when. And I knew the American people would rise above it and vote for the future they deserve. The only thing that can stop this corrupt machine is you. The only force strong enough to save our country is us. The only people brave enough to vote out this corrupt establishment is you, the American people. Our great civilization has come upon a moment of reckoning. I didn't need to do this, folks, believe me. I built a great company, and I had a wonderful life. I could have enjoyed the fruits and benefit of years of successful business deals and businesses for myself and my family, instead of going through this absolute horror show of lies, deceptions, malicious attacks. Who would have thought? I'm doing it because this country has given me so much, and I feel so strongly that it's my turn to give back to the country that I love. I'm doing this for the people and for the movement, and we will take back this country for you, and we will make America great again.